Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Aislinn, back at it again with another video. So as you can see by today's thumbnail, by the title, we are doing this zombie makeup. This took me so long, like literally so long. I actually love the way that it turned out. I cannot complain. Yeah, I'm really proud of myself for accomplishing this though. Honestly, this is a really long video, so if you guys would like to see how I got this cartoon zombie makeup, then just keep on watching. Lego.
So we're jumping right in with the Urban Decay Optical Illusion Smoothing Primer. You want to prime because you're going to be using a lot of bright colors and it will stain your face. Even if you do prime, it stained my face for 2 days and my body. So right now I'm just taking a nude eyeliner pencil and just mapping out all of the lines. Just looking at my reference photo and mapping out where I'm going to need to be drawing everything. So now I'm just taking the back of a shadow palette and just putting foundation, and I'm using my Estee Lauder Double Wear mixed in with a little bit of white to kind of cancel out the beige, and then I mixed in some green and blue and yellow to make this. And I used the Makeup Forever Flash palette as you guys saw. And I'm just using a flat brush to fill in around all of these little marks that I put here. So this is really going to be our base color. Take your time, get it really opaque so that it's super standing out. Next I'm taking the pink from the Flash palette and I'm just filling in my eyebrows. The same way I usually fill in my eyebrows, just maybe a little bit higher. And obviously it's pink. This stained my eyebrows pink for 3 days. Okay, so now for the brain part, this is a little bit more intricate. So basically what you're going to be doing is making little U's and circles kind of. It's kind of hard to explain, so you really have to watch this one. If you need to replay it, you can. You can slow it down. It's totally up to you, but just make little U's and then kind of draw lines through them. It almost reminds me of like bubble letters. So next I'm taking that exact same pink from the Flash palette, same flat brush, and just outlining and filling in my lips with pink, and you're only doing half of the lips. Next I'm just taking a green and yellow from the Flash palette and mix them both together, and I'm just filling in all of the areas that are not filled in blue or pink. And this is the area on the face that's basically like eroding or like being eaten away, so to speak. So you're just filling in all these little blobs. They do not have to be precise because you're going to go over them with a black outline anyways. So next what you're going to do, I took a white eyeliner pen and then started tracing out the teeth, and after a while I realized I didn't want to use the eyeliner pen anymore because it would have taken me way too long to build up the pigment. So right here I realized my teeth were a little bit smaller than the layout that I had drawn, so that's why I didn't show me drawing out the teeth because I went and changed it anyways. So just kind of make the teeth as you go. I switched over to the Flash palette and a flat brush, and I used the white in there, and I'm just basically making like little squares. And then once I'm done with the squares, I will add like a little triangle on the top, so it's almost like a little tiny house, and you're doing the exact same thing on the top and the bottom. Then I'm just taking the Urban Decay Electric palette and setting it with that bright neon green. So anywhere that I have that green, like cream paint, I'm setting it with shadow. The only thing about using a Flash palette is that it is like a cream grease paint, so you have to set it with shadow or else it will just wipe right off. Then I'm going in with my Urban Decay Sephora Collection Pro palette. This is the editorial one, and I'm just taking a teal shade the lighter teal shade. And I'm starting to set my face / contour with it. I am going to deepen this up later, but this just gives me a little bit of a guide. Then I'm just taking the exact same eyeshadow and blending it in my crease. This is just going to start to create dimension for my eye. And making the ugliest face going underneath my eye as well. Same thing on the other side. It's almost like you were adding a transition shade when doing like an actual eyeshadow look. Then I'm taking the exact same shade, exact same brush, and just starting to contour my nose with it on both sides. Then I'm taking the exact same brush, but I'm taking a white eyeshadow, and I'm just going to start to use it to highlight sections of my face. So center of the forehead, underneath the eyes. I want to make sure they're really bright, especially like toward the inner corner there. But this is also going to act to set the rest of the face, and if you don't put like too much of it, it will almost mix in with the blue, therefore just setting the blue. Right here, I'm just adding it in there to give a little bit more highlight and dimension. And I put a lot of that dark blue on my chin and I didn't want it there, so I canceled it out. And I'm highlighting the bridge of the nose. Next, I'm just taking the Flash palette again. I'm taking that pink shade and I'm almost just going around all of this pink area and just making it thicker. It's very hard to explain the brain part. I'm so sorry. But you can kind of see I'm just making those lines a little bit thicker. It's not really precise and it doesn't look like a brain at all yet. And yeah, this is where it starts to come into play. So I'm just taking a flat domed, really tiny brush and the Makeup Forever Flash palette shade white. And I'm just starting to kind of like fill in the sections that are like divided by the line that I kind of separated it with. This is terrible. Oh my god, I cannot explain. You're almost making little U's, like bubble letter U's. You'll see what I mean. I had to keep looking at the reference photo because I was so confused on what I was doing here. So see now how I'm kind of just like blending and separating them so that they look more like bubble letters. It's so hard to explain. But when you mix the pink and the white together, it's kind of shading it for you, so it starts to look more normal. Next, I'm just taking a flat shadow brush and a pink shade from the Sephora Pro palette and just setting all of the pink with this shadow. It's just a really hot pink eyeshadow. You can use any eyeshadow that's hot pink. And I'm just setting all of the white areas with the white eyeshadow. And right here is when everything kind of starts to come into play. You can see the brain looks great. And then I'm setting the teeth with the exact same white shadow. Then I'm just doing a regular wing eyeliner. This one's going to be a little bit crazy, but I'm using my Too Faced black eyeliner. I use this one for all my looks whenever I do a Halloween look. I'm going to use this one all over my face too. It's just really black. And I don't use it often because I don't like felt tip liners, so I don't really care if it gets ruined. I'm doing another wing eyeliner on the other eye, but I'm doing it a little bit smaller because this is like my demon side. Then I'm just going to start to outline everything on my face. So everything pink, everything green, it's all getting outlined. And this is what's going to make it look more cartoon-like, so you can see it's starting to kind of come together. Right here is going to be the area where the brain is separated from the face, so this line can be a little bit thicker right there. Just keep outlining everything. It doesn't have to be perfect. Make them the shape that you want them to be. You can look at my photo for reference, or the person that I was inspired by this look. I am going to link her down below, by the way. But right here in the photo that I was referencing, she had like this part green as well into the brain, so I decided to do that too. And same right here. Just like going up and toward the brain. I will fill that in after. Next, I'm just making little dots and starting to add lines kind of more for like dimension. And right here, I'm just taking the black eyeliner and just shading in. So the lighter pressure you put, it kind of starts to blend in with the blue and just shade for you. It just kind of started working for me, so I just went with it and just started shading everywhere else like that. Once you find like a good pressure on it, you'll get it. So shading down here as well. Next, I'm just adding a line right down the bridge of the nose. I am going to shorten that later. I don't show you it, but I don't want it to be that long. And then I'm just creating the nose. So this is like the nose that you'll see on like mainly every single skeleton tutorial. So this is pretty easy to do. And then I'm just going to take the flash palette and fill it in with the black. And same thing, taking the flash palette black and kind of like carving out those teeth now. So you just go around drawing little triangles, almost like a zigzag line. Exact same thing on the top and the bottom, and then draw the lines to connect them and fill in one big line. It doesn't have to be perfect. You're going to go over it again anyways and deepen it, but make it a little bit thicker toward the back. Then I just kind of close my lips and run the black through them so that it starts to create the look inside my lips as well. And then I'm just lightly flicking up with the black and creating like a little bit of dimension in the teeth.
Why did I do this?
That part just kills me every time because I was struggling so hard during this. It took me so long. But yes, and then I'm just going in and filling that in with green as well. Next, taking a brown eyeshadow. This is the shade Hot Chocolate from Anastasia, but you can use any deep brown. And I'm just starting to shade in all the green areas. This really started to bring it to life. So I thought that I would leave this part in just so that you guys could precisely see every single place that I'm putting the brown shadow. Basically putting it on all the edges and then like slightly blending it in. So the further you get in, the lighter pressure you want to put on your brush. And then fill it in a lot towards the back of the teeth. I didn't really show it, but make it really dark. And then I'm just blending this part out. Then I'm just going in between all of the teeth on the top and the bottom and adding some definition there. And then I'm taking the Pastel Goth palette and I'm using the yellow. And I almost didn't put this part in, but it really does make a huge difference. So if you have a bright yellow, then I would suggest shading it in just to give it a little bit more pop. And next I'm just setting the nose with some black eyeshadow and taking that same brush that I used to do that and smoking out the under eye and also adding more depth in the crease. Same thing for both eyes. Everything you do is just going to be a little bit more dramatic on the side that doesn't have the teeth. Then I'm just taking a darker teal shadow from the Pro palette once again and just starting to shade and contour my face. So adding a little bit more depth and dimension around areas in the hollows, so everywhere that you would contour. And then I started off with a liquid liner and realized I didn't like how it was looking. It was too wet. So I went back to the Makeup Forever Flash palette and just started adding lines. And right here I just added a little line to make it look like it was folded over. And then very, very lightly you're going to shade in the brain and outline it. Just lightly. And then I'm adding some dots everywhere in this little like decaying part, and then I'm popping on some Huda Beauty lashes in Lana and painting my whole body basically. So get in your ears as well. It takes forever to clean, but it actually took me like 7 minutes to paint my body, so it's very sped up, but yeah, that's why I only painted to where I did. Then just taking a white liquid liner and drawing 3 rectangles down my chest, and then another one right beside the third that's a little bit longer. This is going to be the bones that are like decaying with flesh. And this is going to be the start of your rib cage. So you're doing like a little bit of a U shape with this one and then making it a little bit thicker toward the outer corner. And then I'm taking the Flash palette and just filling that in. And then I'm also going with the Flash palette pink and kind of outlining all of these because they're all going to be surrounded with the flesh, which is the pink color. Then I'm just drawing the outline, kind of, so a couple of triangles. You'll see, it's kind of hard to explain, but just use the reference picture once again. You'll see me just like keep on looking and adding things. And then I'm just going to fill all of that in. And then we are taking the black from the Flash palette and just outlining once again. So you can kind of see it should look like that. You can pause there if you need to get a reference. Then I'm just adding a couple lines and some more decaying like little blobs Once again, don't do this with like any rhyme or reason, just kind of outline a bunch of little weird shapes. It's decaying flesh, it doesn't have to be perfect. So right here I'm just outlining all of the bones with black and then shading in a couple of lines just to start to add like a little bit of texture. And then right here I'm just adding more dimension by dragging the black from the outer corner toward the middle. Then going back with the same green that I used on the face and filling in those blobs and then setting it with eyeshadows. So the exact same shadows that I used to set the face, used to set the chest as well. Except right there I just shaded in the green with black because I was going in with black anyways. Set this all with black eyeshadow, set all the white with white eyeshadow. You'll get the hang of it. Basically when you put a cream down, set it with eyeshadow in the same color. And then I'm using eyeshadow to trace all around these little blobs just to make them stand out more. And just adding a couple more lines and doing some shading. And then that's it.
Oh, yes. Alrighty guys, so that completes this tutorial. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video and that you can kind of follow along somewhat. I would recommend painting a little bit more downy here, but honestly, after sitting here for over 3 hours, I figured that this was good enough for today. I hope that you guys enjoyed my first Halloween tutorial. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.